Jean, we're going to go to you. Jean Gruss, we'll go to you with this story. This is coming out of the Commercial Observer. I'll read you the headline, then I'll read you the next few graphs. Headline, Terra to buy Waterfront Miami site for $1.2 billion. And here's the first couple graphs. A joint venture led by David Martin's Terra has announced plans to buy a waterfront site near downtown Miami for $1.2 billion in what could become one of the country's priciest land acquisitions. The 15.5 acre parcel at 1431 North Bayshore Drive between MacArthur and the Venetian Causeways that lead to Miami Beach offers 800 linear feet of direct frontage on Biscayne Bay, just east of the Adrian Arts Center for the Performing Arts. Anybody want to get a sense of where that is? It's just north of what I would call downtown Miami, where we had the former AAA American Airlines Arena, which is now called the, how do you say it, John? Kaseya?
Kaseya, yes.
Kaseya, the Kaseya Center. Remember, it was FTX until the Bitcoin scandal went down and the person who was sponsoring it got busted and they went bankrupt and he got extradited, but that's a different story. So anyways, the 15.5 acre parcel at 1431 North Bayshore Drive between the MacArthur Causeway and the Venetian that lead to Miami Beach offers 800 linear feet of direct frontage on Biscayne Bay. And here's a quote coming. It's coming from a statement from David Martin, who is leading the buy side group. The scale and location of the site offers the opportunity to do something spectacular, something that all Miamis can take pride in. And we will deliver nothing short of that, Martin said in a statement. For now, our team is focused on understanding the full potential of the property and the surrounding area. Our vision will evolve as we learn. Now, Jean, before I ask you to comment on it, let me just preface this by saying Genting, a group out of Malaysia that owns casinos all around the world, including in the Bahamas. They also are the owner of a cruise line, Norwegian Cruise Line, which is right down the block. Genting came in, they bought it, they wrote it out for 10 years. They tried to get legalized gambling. Basically, they crapped out, literally, and now they turn around and they dumped the site for $1.2 billion to David Martin, who is, he got an offer on the street for some $500 million to take down a condo conversion up in Miami Beach. So, Jean, what do you make of that, given the fact that another bank has failed, interest rates are on the rise, and lending is becoming much more stringent, especially as regulators see what happens if they take their eye off the ball. And next thing you know, we got a bank failure. So Jean, what's your take on this story?
Yeah, it's like deja vu all over again. No, I mean, it depends where you think we are in the cycle. If you think we're near the peak of the cycle, it may not make as much sense as if perhaps you were at the beginning of the cycle. And, maybe this is a long-term play for the next cycle. I think most people would agree that we're closer to the end of this cycle than we are to the beginning. And if they purchase the property, without a vision, according to the statements, they may be waiting for the next cycle. I mean, these things take a long time to plan and build and get approved and all of that. So, you're looking at maybe, 5 or 6, 7 years before something ever comes out of the ground there. And that might be the next cycle of building in Miami, because, I think most people would agree that we're near the end of this cycle. With the way things are going, interest rates on the rise, slowing the economy. That's kind of that's how I see it.
So Jean, right next to this site where the Miami Herald used to stand, it's right there on the bay. Nice piece of dirt. And right next to the site is a former mall that was called the Omni Mall. It's now been turned into an education. It's got a hotel at the top. Genting's plan was to go ahead and use that mall, which has a hotel, and bring in legalized gambling while it was actually constructing on the dirt next door. Vacant dirt doesn't generate revenue unless you put up some tents and you rent it out to like an Art Basel. Interesting enough, as part of this deal, David Martin didn't get the Genting site, which is throwing off cash from a hotel and a school and parking and other things. He only got the dirt. I don't know how many food trucks you can roll in there to generate rent and how many times you can put up a tent and try to rent out the space. How do you carry $1.2 billion piece of dirt at a time like this given the market conditions? Is that possible, or Or should I maybe say this is a rhetorical question because I don't think anybody knows how you can do it.
Well, I don't know that they spelled out the financing details. So I mean,
Well, it
that's
says to
that.
come at a later date. Financing terms will come at a later date. So you're suggesting
Yeah,
maybe it's seller financing. Maybe the seller's holding
I mean,
paper.
that's certainly possible. I mean, you can get pretty creative with that. With that, I mean, um, and you can, yeah. I mean, there's ways to structure it so that's, uh, it's not all at once. So who knows? I mean, the financing is the is going to be the key to the project. So, I mean, until we really know those details, the timing of it is still, way out in the future, in my opinion, because we're at the peak of the market. I mean, and anyway, um, it's going to be interesting to see who finances it. I mean, it's not going to be your traditional banks. That's for sure. I mean, it's going to be private equity. It's going to be somebody with a very long-term horizon. It's going to be perhaps a partner in future developments. I mean, who knows? I mean, they're playing it kind of close to the vest, but I'm sure they've thought through this, even though they say that they haven't thought it through yet.
So Lydia, we're going to go to you on the next story, but I'm just wondering, because this is like a commentary, an analysis type of program, is there anything on the street that maybe you can offer related to this particular piece or anything you're hearing? Name source, unnamed source. We don't want to put out rumor, but at the same time, real estate is pretty much all just about what's out on the street. So anything you can suggest or anything you can add before we move on to the next story?
The Genting site that Terra acquired. It was
Yeah.
interesting. The day before Terra acquired it, I was like browsing through Miami-Dade County project applications through the county's website, and we still didn't know it was Terra, but the filing was trying to confirm the zoning for the site, asking to confirm that it allows 500 units per acre residential, and if I remember correctly, 500 hotel keys per acre. So I don't know if it was both or either or. I don't recall exactly, but that was like it popped up and it just had an attorney's name. So we still didn't know it was Terra. So it kind of they're already trying to like confirm zoning, but that doesn't mean that they're ready to build or have the financing to build yet. But it was just an interesting tidbit that popped up.
Interesting. So 500, just ballpark, just to kick it around. Not to hit on this, but I find it very interesting. So you got 500 units per acre, roughly. You got 15.5 acres. You do some rough math, and I guess that's how you come up with $1.2 billion. So I guess they're buying the dirt based on, I guess on that, but I don't know. I guess we're gonna have to see how it goes on. Anybody got any comments? I know there's a lot of people out there saying it's the greatest thing, gonna help Miami. Send your comments to inquiry@CondoVultures.com, INQUIRY@CondoVultures.com.